The Kickoff Breakfast Show.
Welcome back to the Kickoff Sports Breakfast Show with Damian on your Saturday morning, and let's welcome in from the Rat Bags Racing Show, it's Chris Craddock. G'day, Chris.
Yeah, hi Damian, how are you? Well, I guess Friday, the 15th of May, will go down as one of the most devastating days in racing in this country. There's lots of different angles and lots of ways you can look at it. From earlier in the week with the Minister, Winston Peters, Minister of Racing, Deputy Prime Minister, announcing a $72.5 million package to racing in this country to make us great again, and everyone thinks, yeah, that's really positive. But when you look at where that $72.5 million is going, it's not good. You'll recall last week we spoke about RITA, which is basically the TAB, the Old New Zealand Racing Board, announcing huge redundancies, 230 jobs going, and a total restructuring of racing in this country, the administration of it, the TAB as we know it, the presentation of racing to us, the wagering public in this country. It's just simple things as there'll be no more trackside radio. It's totally gone. There'll be no more telephone betting. It's going to go. You got to get an app and you got to do it on a computer. When we eventually get back to attending a race course, there'll be nowhere on that race course that you can bet with a person. There'll either be a machine or a game. You do it on your phone while you're there. I'm really concerned about the actual presentation that you will see on trackside, on your television. No on-course presenters. It's even been thought that announcers may call from sitting in their lounge chair at home from the one camera which will be focused on the race at the race meeting. It's cut to the bone. It's at the grassroots. It's on the shop floor. Yeah, I wonder where those other two-thirds of the employees at RITA who sit in suits behind their desks on the fat salaries, what we as the wagering public of New Zealand are going to be presented with. So, racing as we know it in this country is not going to be the same under the new normal of COVID. I know it's great news that we went to level 2 and we've got more freedoms than that. And I know greyhound racing is going right now, and the harness is going to start on Friday the 29th, and thoroughbred still looking at that 3rd of July, but may come forward. But it's just not, that's not going to be as we know it. Back to the Winston Peters, $72.5 million. 20 million of that was for the new artificial tracks. They're building one at Awapuni and in Christchurch at Riccarton. There'd already been an announcement that one was going to be built at Cambridge. So that's 20 million of it gone. 2.5 million was to help with funding community groups because of the Pokey trusts. But the other 50 million, would you believe it, RITA was insolvent. They had, they are telling us they had $26 million in debt that they could not pay as of Friday, the 15th of May. So I want to call it the rescue package or the bailout of Winston Peters for $72 million. They would have gone into receivership. The banks were going to foreclose on them. We would not have had a racing industry in this country if that money hadn't come as of Friday, the 15th of May. And however, it's rumoured that in actual fact the debt's really $45 million. So it had been suggested that the other $24 million was going to help greyhounds and thoroughbred and harness racing to continue on. It really is. COVID's brought it all to a head. It may have been lingering there for quite some time. There is a huge amount of information coming through on social media. So if people are listening here and want to find that information, just go on to Mr. Google and you'll find a lot there. So we live in very, very interesting times. So just at our own level here, Kapiti Coast Harness, we're owed several $1,000s from RITA. So individual clubs right throughout the country are still waiting for money, and that was for just our one day that we held this year at the Otaka Maori Racing Kapiti Coast Harness. But I think the biggest impact for us locally here, particularly people who are interested in harness racing, we knew to kick it back up on the 29th of May, there were only going to be 4 race courses in the whole country having harness racing. That was Ascot Park in Invercargill for any horse domiciled south of the Waitaki River. Then it's going to be Addington Racecourse in Canterbury. Though, of course, under level 3, the restrictions of transport have gone, so we can at least move horses right throughout the country now. And then the entire North Island was being treated as a region, and the only racing was going to be at Cambridge and Alexandra Park. So the devastating news for us in the lower North Island is that that is going to carry on. They have announced that they will cease to grant racing licences to any harness club in the North Island other than Cambridge and Alexandra Park. So that's devastating to the professional trainers who live here in the lower North Island, me as an owner, our syndicate who races for Capital Express. We've got them back in work, getting ready to run. We're told the only place you can run in the North Island now is in Cambridge. So it's a $300 round trip to take a horse to race there. Though the dates that were released today for the racing calendar for the next year are up for a 1-month consultation. I've just read an email from the president of the Manawatu Harness Club because they've gone too. They've lost their 20 meetings that they normally hold in the lower North Island. So we will make submissions, and we'll have Zoom meetings with the head of Harness Racing New Zealand, Peter Jensen. Of course, we had spent a lot of time and work. I was part of that working party to try and get dual code meetings with the Greyhounds each Tuesday at Manawatu, and I am told that is still on the table, but it does look bleak. Which is amazing because statistics have come out to show that 8% of all betting on harness racing is from people who are domiciled in the Wellington region. Our argument is that there should be some harness racing here. I can't comment too much on the thoroughbred situation because I haven't seen the official email yet being sent to Kapiti Coast Harness, which will show the full set of dates. So, but it is rumoured that there's between 15 and 20 racetracks in the country will close with this new dates structure because they've got no meetings. They won't be given a race licence. So, yes, massive change. Lots of implications for lots of people in the industry and for just general Joe public out there wanting to have a bet. If you don't have anybody on course, they're saying, well, what happens for the once-a-year punter who wants to turn up to Westport on Boxing Day, for instance, who gets $1 million turnover. So they are allowing some of those destination meetings, they're calling them, to continue. I could possibly argue that the Te Hera Nikau, January the 2nd, is a destination venue. You have 10,000 people turn up, and you have 4 harness races, and you have between 6 and 8 thoroughbred racing. You could argue that Harua over Easter, the harness club there, is a destination meeting, and people come and they spend their Easter there. But for us, at Kapiti Coast Harness, arguing, we really wanted to be there on the 4th of January this coming year as a dual code with the Otaki Maori Racecourse. So I haven't even seen their thoroughbred dates yet. So, for us in harness anyway, Friday the 15th of May is a devastating, sad day, it seems. But we will make the submissions, and each week I'll keep people up to date. On a personal level, I continue to feed raging whitebait in a paddock here in Levin, and sure hope he will have an opportunity to race somewhere. If not Cambridge, it would be nice to see him running around locally here. And I'd love for all the population, everyone who listens to us, have the opportunity to still see racing live here in our region.
Absolutely.
That's the update for today, Damian.
Wow. Okay. Well, thank you for your time, mate. Thank you for the updates. Thinking of you guys, thinking of everyone, and hopefully, as our new normal is always changing, hopefully we've got some good news next week. Yeah,
I certainly hope so. I know I'm going to be part of a couple of Zoom meetings as the president of the Kapiti Coast Harness Racing in this coming week. That's being led by the president, Dan Lynch of Manawatu Harness, and we will have those Zooms meetings with Harness Racing New Zealand. So I'd like to think all is not lost. I don't know if we need to be pessimistic or realistic. But yeah, I will keep everybody informed, and it's watch that space. But yeah, get onto Mr. Google, because there's hundreds of pages and lots of comments there. Yeah.
Okay, mate. Well, Chris Craddock, thank you, mate, for your time. Go well. We'll talk next week.
Yeah. Okay. Look forward to it.